So, welcome back to a normal stock update video today. We will take a look at NIO. First time we will look at the fractal for DOCU, which looks very good. We make a little update for RIOT. We make a little update for Unity software. And because some of you already were talking about Open, we also make a little update on Open. And in the end, we will take a look at a community vision. If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I'm using the Fractal Method. The explanation video I will put at the end of the video again, or you just search for the playlist Fractal Method. Okay, well then let's jump into NIO. So for NIO, I updated the macro chart. The only thing I changed in the earlier tracking and also still in the German version of the video, this was still B and this was still A. After I was looking at it, it makes more sense that this is higher low, this is A, and the next thing we will do is macro B. Just to say that nothing is changing on the micro tracking. Why is that making more sense? Just because if our all-time low was September 2019, you fell under the 0.5, you fell under the 618. There's a possibility that B is doing that, but normally doing such a big pullback is more like A. But it doesn't matter for the macro tracking because our next uptrend, it doesn't matter if this is B or C, it should go over the peak of A, so over all-time highs. The only thing which is changing when we get this peak is if we're getting a knife or if we're just getting a macro 0.5 pullback and go even higher then. If this is B, whatever NIO is doing, it is very profitable. Now to the micro tracking. So for micro tracking, not really much changed. In my opinion, it got even more bullish. If you have here's your V, the pullback of your big A, then you did a wonderful higher low. You broke out of the trend line, and I'm talking about this trend line here, the trend line of 2021. You went over your T line, which is a perfect A. You made a perfect 618 pullback from your low to the top. Perfect 618 pullback. After that, you even did perfect little higher low and also broke out of this trend line. Same like here, you did here. And now we have two ways for the normal tracking rules. First of all, you still need to do the A pullback. Because if you look from this low, this peak, this is not a 0.5 pullback or a 618 pullback or a breakout retest, nothing. So if we're taking it one by one, you still need this top, this pullback, and then you go up to your B. But I will show why I'm more leaning to we are not doing that. If you're not doing that, your next target is something over $7 for your little B. Then if you're going rule by rule again, 0.5 pullback, our main target, if we not want to micro track this, is still our big B. And our big B has to be over M. And this is over 16. 0.5 pullback again, maybe. And then the only question is, do we go to all-time highs or not? Now to the point why I don't think that. So here we have NIO side by side. Left side, 8 hours 2019. Right side, 8 hours now. And even if you don't use my method, even if you don't use anything, tell me that this isn't looking like the same. Yeah? That's the NIO is a perfect example for you don't always need A, B, C, L, M, T. Sometimes you just see it one-to-one. There are tickers, they are really moving one-to-one because fractals are always moving, are always repeating themselves. They most of the time just get bigger and slower. For NIO right now, you have this fall, you have this fall, you have your T, you have your T, you fall to your all-time low, you fall to your low, then you did a perfect higher low, you did a perfect higher low, we broke out of the trend, we went over T, we went over T, we even did a head and shoulders, same as here, and then on both sides, 2019 and today, we did from our low to the peak a perfect 618 pullback. The same we did in the last months. Yeah. So, in my opinion, there's a really, really, really big, strong evidence that we at least are behind this section here. Yeah. But I would also say that we already did this higher low. And right now are somewhere in this section here. In this section here. Also, levels wise, if you look, we are already over our higher low. Yeah? That means we are already over this level here. And we are also already over this here. Yeah. So I would say for just we are looking like we are somewhere in this. Yeah. So the next thing after we're doing this sideways shit is this one. Yeah. And the thing is, you see that we have a nice A pullback, but this isn't a 0.5 pullback for B. Yeah, because if you take from your A bottom to your B peak, that's not a 0.5. So for the big macro tracking, whatever we're doing right now with the small micro tracking, I don't think we get the big 0.5 pullback. We get a pullback, but not a big one. And then we go up. But this is pretty steep. Yeah? So NIO looks absolutely fucking perfect. Let's see what happens. Okay, next one is DOCU. So DOCU is another example where you can easily see the fractal with just your eyes without A, B, C, L, M, T. On the same time, DOCU is a perfect example why people who are saying they are fractal tracking and only using bars pattern most of the time fail with this theory. I will show that. First of all, we will just look at it looks like. Yeah? And we start at RPO because in my opinion, DOCU show you its whole fractal from its IPO till September 19. And I explain that. So your IPO starts at, where was it? May 2018 and straight run to its all-time high back then. You see here, you have two peaks and a U, and the right side is higher. The same thing you did from 2019 till August 2021. You have a massive run up, same as here. You have a double peak with a U, and the right side is higher. Same thing, you head back here. Then you have a massive knife. You have a massive knife. Then down here, we go into the yellow circle. In the yellow circle, you first fall to a higher low. And I'm talking about this here. The same thing you did here. Also, here you see clearly you have a lower low. And after that, a little higher low. Same here, lower low, higher low. Then you get a bounce. You get a bounce and fall to your all-time low. you get a bounce and fall to your all-time low. And then after that, you get another bounce and make a perfect, nice micro high low. Same like here, perfect macro high low. So in that case, this section is finished. After that, you have a massive run to the upside. Same like here, you have a massive run to the upside, but you're not breaking the trend line. Here also, you're not breaking the trend line. And here, even with the clear eye, you see that this section here from March 2019 till right now, June 2019, is the same thing like December 2024 till today. It's really, you start with a massive peak and then you just go into a downtrend with lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Yeah, this is quite really one-to-one. And then you knife down. You see this here? You knife down on June 2019. And here, you knife down in January 2026. The only thing here is that this knife down wasn't that low like we did here. And here comes the thing with only taking past pattern can bring you into a trap. Because if it looks like most likely you should have bounced here. Yeah, because this bounced also here. Yeah, so you shouldn't have gone down here. Yeah, so only taking past pattern isn't working all the time. But fractal wise, it's still the same position. Now, before we go into the rules tracking, what would happen next? In the best case, I'm still saying we are right now here in June 2019. I'm talking about this year. We should be somewhere in this range here. This week is earnings. So there are two ways. We're doing nothing, just sideways, or we get our next strong move. What would this next strong move look like? Well, something like this. Yeah, you will go up. You won't break over this trend line. I would say something 67 or 60-ish, no financial advice. But this wouldn't be the breakout yet. Yeah? You still have to come lower. Yeah? You still have to do a higher low. So whatever we are doing here, you will still come down here to $40, $45-ish. After that, you're doing the big, big move. Before we're going into the rules setting, this next move, and that's really stupid, because you see here that this next move is just going over all-time highs, and that is only the start of the move. So if the tracking is right, whatever this company is doing, yeah, the break of all-time highs would just be the start of this. That's the stupid thing. For rules one by one, if November 2023 was our low, then since then till today, we just did macro high low. Here, this is our macro high low. And what we are doing now is just the micro high low for this big macro high low. When this is finished, your next target is 113 for your A. Yeah? This would be then already something in this candle here. I don't think we get a breakout retest or a 0.5 or a 0.618 pullback, because back here we didn't do that either. And also for the B, your B should be 160. Really, your B and your A will be just this candle. We will just sniff it. Yeah. And then we just go. And for the macro outlook, and here comes really the stupid point, is that this whole thing right now is just massive macro higher low. After that comes A. I mean, okay, I think we will get a forward split for this. Yeah, I don't think you will see a share for $1,500. But if this is playing out, this right now is just the start for DOCU. Whatever news it is, this thing looks fucking great. Just one warning. Why ever and whenever, if we break 4016 or touch it, it's hands off stock right now. Yeah, because then something is terrible wrong with my tracking, and we have to read, and I have to redo it. Right now, this thing looks absolutely fucking great. No financial advice. Okay, next one is RIOT. So RIOT is also a stock where you gladly already see the fractal, the big fractal, how the stock is moving with the blind eye. Just one thing, I won't show this time again, but the first time I showed the tracking for fractal, I got comments with, no, tracking is wrong, bullshit, I'm stupid, blah, 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 because RIOT is a miner, so my RIOT is one-to-one running with Bitcoin. Just saying, if you are their opinion, you can have this opinion, just put them side by side. Put RIOT on the left, Bitcoin on the right side. You will see that especially this move here from IPO till March 2020 wasn't at all the movement of Bitcoin. Just saying. For the tracking, before we look at the whole thing, it's looking fucking fantastic. It's right now quite doing the same like NIO, for example. If your all-time low in March 2020 was right, you did a breakout retest, went over your T, perfect A, 6.18 pullback, and now your next target is B. And I will come to that. Here also a perfect example. Here isn't a higher low. Yeah. So I have to agree here. You had your bottom, your V, and you went up. You didn't do a higher low and you go. But also, again, you didn't squeeze from the V. Because there are two things. If you found your V, you can do a higher low and the AM pullback. That would be the normal way. Or you're doing your V higher low and then get a massive move. Or you just say, I don't care about the higher low, but I do my A. Yeah? There are only always these three versions. Okay, now we start with it looks like tracking. So left side, weekly chart, the whole chart from IPO till today. Right side, 8-hour chart from IPO. This whole thing here is just this section here. Yeah? And I show that because from IPO, this whole movement here is the same what we did since years. And I will show that step by step. So you did your C, your all-time high. Same as here from IPO. Then you did a lower high. The lower high here was bigger because fractal is always repeating and get bigger. Then you saw a massive knife down. Same as here, you saw a massive knife down and got your low point. Same as here with your low point. Then you bounced. And in this bounce, you go pretty sideways, bounce pretty sideways, and got your two peaks. That landmark is your M. Yeah, the M in the IPO and the M on the macro chart. Then you knifed down again. You bounced and get a massive peak to your T. Same as here. You knife down, get a massive bounce. I mean, okay, on the 8-hour and at IPO it was smaller, but this is still your T. Then you knife down to your all-time low. Here at IPO, you knife down to your all-time low back then. Here. Then you got a little higher low. You don't see that here. And you went over your trend line to your A point, over your T point. Same as here. You broke out over your trend line, over your T. And you got a 0.618 pullback. And here you went sideways after that. Same like we're doing right now. Going sideways right now. After that, you broke massively out and went over your M point. Wait a second. went over your M point. This is your B. And that's the thing I or we tracking right now. The massive run to our B, which has to be over our M. This means next move should go over $235, maybe $325. And no financial advice. I'm looking for that still this year. Don't know what the news will be or if it's running because of Bitcoin. I mean, in that case, Bitcoin just getting a blow of top. Don't care. For RIOT, that means this is massive bullish. After that, after this peak, you will get a 0.5 pullback. And this could take a while. Just to say that, this is the weekly chart still. Yeah. This pullback will take a while. Just saying. The stupid part about this tracking is, if you look, the next move after the B pullback is going over all-time highs and massive up. That means the move after B, I mean, this could take years, really years, just saying. But the target is, yeah, I mean, again, there will be forward split. Yeah, you won't get a share for $13,000, $17,000, $20,000, but the gain would still be enormous. Just saying. Yeah, right? It's looking absolutely fucking great. Let's see. Good. Next one is Unity software. And for Unity software, just a short update. It's a nice chart, but there's not much to say here. Yeah. IPO started in the run to its B, 0.5 pullback up to all-time highs to its C. Then lower high, midpoint, last time to sell to the all-time low. And since then, since July 2024 till today, in the best case, this is just our macro higher low. We might do now still a micro higher low, but for the macro tracking, your next target is still A, and this A has to be over T. That means over $58. Then breakout retest. Your next B should be over 100. 0.5 pullback. And then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? The only thing here is, first of all, I think we still need to do a higher low here. The micro higher low, that means you should still come down to 1750-ish, yeah, but you have to hold this higher low. Only warning, if you touch or break 1250 again, hands off. Yeah, really hands off, because in the worst case was this peak T, and then it will take time. You have to do a new V, higher low, and then everything again. Yeah, right now it looks good. As always, don't break the higher low or it gets bad. That's for Unity software. Next one is Open. So Open is also a really nice clear fractal. It made me already a lot of money. Just saying, it also fucked me 2 times. For Open, IPO was run to its C, lower high, midpoint T, all-time low. Yeah? Also here you see you made your V. You didn't really do a higher low here. You just ran to your A and pulled back. Also here, you didn't squeeze from the V. I mean, okay, that is a squeeze, but not the big squeeze to all-time highs. Yeah? You're doing higher low, or you're doing A, or you're doing both. But for the tracking, you went to your T. This time a little bit lower, but okay. You did a perfect breakout retest, a perfect 0.5 pullback. Then you bounced, went to your M. This is your B. And to say that, I made money from here to here and from here to here. And I lost money here. Why? Just because it was clear for me this was the top of B. And B is always doing a 0.5. Yeah, 0.5 from your A bottom. Yeah, and I thought, okay, here on November 2025, this is near the 0.5, perfect. It was a short pullback, same like the A pullback, perfect. B pullback is finished, and now we go up. Yeah. And then we just did this whole nonsense. Yeah, sadly. Yeah. This pullback of B is taking so fucking long. It's really boring. But to say that, if you look right now from your A bottom to your B peak, right now we bounced perfectly at the 0.5. So, two things. I still think we need to do now a micro higher low for our B pullback. What does that mean? I mean, we need for this whole thing still a higher low. That means this is already the peak of your higher low, and you still have to come lower than 450-ish. Yeah? And then you can go to your C. Before we look at this, just saying, no financial advice. It's okay to get a position here, in my opinion. As long as always, as long as you're holding this higher low. If you're touching or breaking 4.26 again, this could get bad very quick. There is an alternative that this was your C, not thinking that, but always have an alternative, and then we really go low. Yeah. So, and if not, and we just need another low, yeah, where you say that this was your T of your B pullback, you still have to come low, higher low, and then this will take time. That's why I'm saying it's okay to get a position at the 786, but if you touch a break 427, in my opinion, it's good to go out. Yeah, and for C, in my opinion, it has to go at least over the lower high. That means at least over 25. If we're breaking all-time highs or not, we have to see. But if we're doing that just to the lower high, that's a 500% move. So right now, open looks good. Okay, and last one is a community wish. TDOC health. And I'm not saying bad words about any idea. My question is just, why are so many of you want to track me health or buyer companies? Is it just coincidence? Well, because most of them, in my opinion, I'm always getting health stocks. For TDOC, I have to say, okay, it's an 11-year-old company. The only problem with this right now is you still have a quite big stock. Not much price action. Yeah, it's just down, hump, down. There is not much. So for bullish tracking, you have here your V in March 2016. You did a higher low here. That's important. Yeah. Then you went up. Oh, come on. Then you went up to your A without the 0.618 pullback. You did your B with a 0.5 pullback, and then to your all-time high. Then lower high, midpoint, the last time to sell, to your all-time low for the bullish tracking. For this case, your all-time low was February 2026. I still think you have to do now a higher low. Yeah? The same like we did here. For the higher low, in my opinion, you did already your V, your A, and your B. There's a possibility that you just still go up here, yeah, but you won't break the trend line. That means you won't go over 735, and then you still have to go under the V under A. So you have to still come under 487, yeah, and then you have to hold it, yeah. You don't allow to touch a break 420. If that is holding, your next target is over T, so over 15. Again, you won't get a really pullback here, same as here. After that, your next target is B. B should be over 82. Here, you will get a pullback. And then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? that would be the bullish version. Just saying for the bearish version, if you break 420 or touch it, you will make, of course, new lows, but then it's again hands off. We have to wait for the bottom. We have to wait to confirm a high low again, and the whole thing starts again. Yeah, I hope that helped. Okay, was a shorter video today, as always. The tutorial video, the explanation video for the Fractal Method will be here. Playlist for the normal stocks here. Playlist for the meme stocks back here. As always, if you liked it, you can leave a like. If you want to see more, you can give me an abo. And let's see what happens this week. Yeah, let's see. Have fun. See ya.